Emulate the taste of like non-chicken nuggets. So these nuggets are made from chicken, but they're made to emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Dope.
Oh, that's much better.
Edit all the blather out of your videos because my time is very precious.
Oh, that's fire.
Make it less teal and more
Cerulean? Sure.
Replace your background with something more fun? The cold void of outer space.
Let's boost that sound quality. Emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Dope.
It needs more style. It needs more clips, more GIFs, more. Well, I might have made it too gnarly.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Harmony, and welcome to all of you. Excited to hang out today, Harmony, and then talk a little bit about Descript, learning and development, and lots of cool stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This is a topic I really love talking about, so I'm so excited I have my awesome colleague to join me in this.
Yeah, well, excited to have all of you as well. I think there's a lot of really cool workflows that we can dive into today. Just so you know, let's get this started right off the bat. This will be recorded, so if you need to come back and check it out, any tips or anything that we show off here, if you're looking for this after the fact, we're going to post it on our YouTube channel, which has lots of great tips and tricks already right now. But before we go too far, might as well introduce myself. Hi, my name is Jack. I work on the sales and success team here at Descript. I've been here for about 3 years and looking forward to working with you. We work with a lot of teams that are creating educational materials, either for professional L&D teams or maybe just to help a couple of their coworkers out. I've worked in internal communications before, so one thing I know is really important, but I want to toss it over to my colleague, Harmony, who is an expert in all this stuff. So Harmony, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. So welcome. My name's Harmony. I'm a customer success manager and product specialist here at Descript. And actually, it'll be 2 years on March 1st that I'll have been here. So that's time flies when you're having fun.
Well, happy almost anniversary too.
Awesome. Thank you. But yeah, as Jack mentioned, I do have a L&D background. The last company I was at fell under L&D department as a learning management system specialist, building out different certifications and working with different subject matter experts on instructor-led content and VILT content as well. And before that, also worked on producing online courses for a MOOC provider. So yeah, excited to kind of wrap all of this together and talk about how Descript can be used for that very purpose, whether you're creating full-fledged online courses or certification programs, or even just internal tutorials that need to be shared with other employees.
Awesome. Yeah. So today we're going to dive into how L&D teams at big companies like UiPath and ZoomInfo, but also smaller teams, smaller companies, how they're making their workflows a lot faster with Descript. Screen recorder, powerful and simple editing, Overdub, all the AI cool bells and whistles that we have. We're going to show you about how they kind of go from their first pass of content to their fully polished projects. Little warning, fair warning, this is not like a 101 session, but hopefully this is a lot of awesome stuff that you can learn, even if you're new to Descript. So with that in mind, ask us questions. Feel free to put stuff in the chat, and we'll bring them up and address those live as well. But Harmony, I think we got some awesome projects to dive in and show our audience today.
Certainly. And before we do, I think we're gonna take a poll here really quick.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are brand new to Descript, as Jack mentioned, this isn't like a 101 session. So if you'd like to go back and do sort of a step-by-step instructional video, check out our YouTube channel, look for any of the 101 offerings. But today, as Jack mentioned, we're gonna kind of dive right into it. So we've got a little icebreaker poll for you.
Yeah.
So Jack, do you want to kick us off here?
Yeah. So, we talk to teams all the time. We'll hop on a call, say like, what brings you to want to chat with Descript today? And it's typically a couple of challenges with their editing tools, with their editing, with the teamwork. There are ways that they want to make it all better. So I want to hear from you. What's the big problem with editing today? Is it takes so much time? Is it accurate transcripts and captions are, they just take so long. They're impossible to get. Collaboration is one that we hear all the time. Like some of the tools make it really hard to collaborate as a team. Or is it keeping your content up to date? That's one thing that people talk to us about all the time with Overdub, is that now it opens a totally new workflow for them to refresh their material. Or is it something else? Or is it all of the above? Like sometimes we hear some pretty painful workflows. So I'm curious to hear from you. Where we could help, because that's always fun for us. So I'm seeing number one right now is editing takes so much time. Hopefully we can make that a little bit easier for you. Accurate transcripts, all the above. Seeing a lot of good stuff here. Harmony, what do you hear when you talk to these teams and when you're talking about L&D content in particular?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of cases, it is all of the above, and oftentimes teams will come to us because they saw that we do offer transcription services, but then as they get deeper into the app, they realize like, oh, we can actually bring on more of our team members, more of our stakeholders and subject matter experts that might want to be able to view some of the work we're doing, but they might not necessarily need to edit. So the ability to bring in those subject matter experts to be able to view, listen, and comment, but not edit, it can be extremely valuable. And then I think, yeah, getting those accurate transcripts is such a big one. And then, maybe eventually down the line, also being able to localize those as well often comes up.
Yeah, that's when we hear, and I love this. This just came up in the chat. Trying to accommodate multiple learning styles. Some like to read, some prefer audio only. You don't want to spend all your time editing all these different versions of that too, I assume, right? So I think there's some good ways that we can show you today to make that really, really easy. But I love that. That as well too. So okay, so let's close our poll, or let's take stock right now. Main thing, editing takes so much time, half the votes, all of the above. I think there's a reason that we kind of see these ones appear a lot. But yeah, let's maybe dive in and kind of focus on some of the problems you see and how Descript can solve them.
Certainly. So, yeah, today we're going to focus primarily on 4 different problems that teams face. I think we hit on the first one. Editing can be a huge pain and time sucks. So, being able to use easy text-based editing is kind of the magicness of Descript, and we'll show you how to do that. Also, having the ability to templatize your work, we'll get into that as well. And then, yeah, getting those accurate transcripts. Everything that you bring into Descript is going to automatically transcribe for you. And then we also do transcription in multiple languages, so that can save you time as well. And then what we also hear is that it's difficult to collaborate. So if you're in a myriad of different tools, it's like, where are my comments? Where's the feedback? Is it in one system or another? Descript brings all of that into one app for you. And then the last one is keeping your content up to date. I know this is something that I've struggled with in the past. I wish I had Overdub many years back, but when policies change or your UI gets out of date, you can easily go in with your Overdub voice and get it up to date. So one other just sort of housekeeping item before we dive in, please use the ask a question section. So if you have anything that you want to ask us directly, drop it in that section. We have amazing Zach from our support team joining us and Christiana behind the scenes helping make this work. If for any reason this freezes for you, go ahead and refresh your browser. And then last up, check out our help section of the app. There's a bunch of resources, a bunch of articles, a bunch of videos that will help you get started. And then lastly, join our Discord community. It's a really vibrant community. Everyone's learning from one another. So please check that out when you get a chance. And last up, we'd love for you to be able to try out Descript. So if you want to try out Pro for a month, use the LD30 at checkout. So would love for you to try it out and give us your feedback.
Awesome. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're a new subscriber. Feel like definitely one way to test out all the things that we'll show you here today. So Harmony, it's been a few minutes. Should we go ahead and maybe talk through a basic workflow, start showing some of the projects, or just kind of dive right in?
Let's dive right in. Yeah, I'm going to reshare my screen here. But, one of the things as I do this, thinking about like basic workflows, oftentimes it might just be as simple as needing to record something, make some edits, add some captions, and then export it. Like the thing that I love about Descript is that it can be as basic or as involved as you want it to be. So we're going to kind of touch on a number of different workflows and what you can do. But let's go ahead and kind of start on that first point that we touched on, which is, editing is hard, right? So I'm going to open up a different composition here. So just to kind of give folks a bit of orientation into Descript, here we have a project. Within this project, we have different what we call compositions. So these can be different videos or different tutorials. Jack, what do you have an analogy you like to use when talking about projects and compositions?
Yeah. So I like to kind of joke that each of the compositions are like the ingredients, and the projects are like the dishes that you put out. If Descript were a restaurant, so maybe your mileage may vary with that, but hopefully that's kind of fun.
Nice.
And I want to point out too, these are all real projects from real Descript customers that kind of, I think, run the gamut of everything from having a bunch of people talking to having one person talking, screen shares, all kinds of different ways that this works. So these are all real projects and things that you could create in Descript as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to play this first video because I just want to give you a sense of like what it looks like to edit and experience that playback experience in Descript. So let's just check this out real quick.
Hello, my name is Simon McDougall, and I joined ZoomInfo as Chief Compliance Officer in January this year.
Okay, awesome. So just to kind of show the essential magic of Descript, when you make changes to the text, and let's say I want to get rid of this first sentence, delete it, that removes that underlying audio and video. So now if I want to have that same opening title sequence, but have it start where Simon says, I've spent over
20 years.
Oops, go back.
I've spent over 20 years working.
Right. I'd probably want to fix up that edit, but the gist is that, again, when you need to make edits, just make changes to the text, and that will remove that underlying audio and video. One of the things that I really love about this particular piece of content is the way that they've treated that opening sequence. So they've got some nice elements that are animating in. They've got their logo, nice transition into Simon showing his lower third, which is really great. So all of this stuff, that opening title sequence, you can templatize all of that in Descript. So your custom fonts, your brand colors, your logos, progress bars, and let's say there's a particular portion of this that we might want to extract and create a teaser for our YouTube channel or one of our other social platforms. I can take this and maybe say, copy this section. I'm using one of my favorite tools here, duplicate to. And what this is going to do is it's just extracting only that portion of the video.
Officer in January.
Right. So if I go into my template drawer here, I can, let's see here. I've created some templates in advance, and I've created one where I just have a static logo. I've got one where I've got that same intro title sequence. So Jack, maybe you can speak to this, but I think one of the great collaborative pieces of Descript is that I could invite someone from my design team to add in, intro animations, outros, and then once they're in there, I'm kind of one and done, right?
Yeah, not only does Descript make editing really, really easy and really straightforward by just being able to edit the video by editing the text, but those templates then make it faster for everybody on your team to add those, unique brand elements for your company.
Yeah.
So as opposed to starting from scratch every single time and having to scroll through timelines for hours and hours and then rebuild the graphic elements you need, between script-based editing and the kind of graphic templates that you can use, you can work just that much faster as an individual, as a team. And there's like all kinds of creative elements that you can use in those templates as well.
Absolutely. Jack, is it worth pulling up a template and just kind of showing how they get built, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe we cut up a little bit of this and then create a template and apply that.
Absolutely. So here I've got this template. I've created a template where I've got a static logo. I've got one with animation. I've got one with like just a lower third and some music. So I can create different templates. I could even duplicate these and replace them with different elements, different logos, different colors. So it's really easy to kind of iterate once you've got a single template created. I'm going to use this one here. So if I'm just going to show my timeline here. So I've got some music. I've got my logo that we've inserted. We've got captions and a progress bar here. So I'm just going to play this real quick. Right. So that animation comes in.
I've spent over 20 years working
Cool.
on
And then
privacy.
we've got some captions in that progress bar. So the nice thing with templates is that once you publish them, you can then share them with your entire team. So if you're out on leave for a little bit, make that available to your entire drive, and other folks on the drive will benefit from that. So let's go back into our project here. And we're going to pull up that same project we were working on. And so now I'm going to go up into my template drawer. I'm going to go to, let's grab that one. Cool. So we've seen all of our elements come in. And I actually want this to start a little bit before. I'm going to drag this over. I want to time it. I'm dragging my word bar, see, so that that animation can happen before Simon starts talking. Okay.
And you can see how easy it is to adjust these graphic elements too on screen. So, it's just
My name is Simon.
dragging and dropping them around. Everything
Exactly.
moves. So if these captions are blocked or something like that, easy to keep them up to date as well.
Exactly. And in this case, I might want to place these over here so it doesn't interfere with my lower thirds. I could take this and even reformat it for different platform. Could turn this into a square and then move my elements around, right? So easy as that, and then publish that out. Very cool. Jack, what am I missing with respect to templates?
No, I think maybe changing brand colors. Maybe we can kind of show how that elements bar works over on the right side. How you can use this as a team to keep things up to date or make them look a little bit different. We know brand standards. Sometimes you got to keep them similar, and sometimes you got to give your brand a refresh. So here's how to use some of these elements.
Absolutely. So the nice thing is that, click on the element that you want to change the properties for. So in this case, I might want to change the coloring for my progress bar. So you'll notice that the properties panel will change when I do that. So I might want to adjust the coloring here. I might also want to go down into my captions. Down here in the live text section, I have this on the sort of standard clean captioning, but you can also do the karaoke effect where it'll highlight the active word color, right? And then it's getting a little bit closer to that overall look that we're going for
We had
here,
the privilege.
right? So it's as easy as that. Just go in, and if you have a particular hex code, the nice thing is that you can, if you go into the coloring here, just drop in the exact hex code. And the nice thing is that the next time you create that template, it will remember that last color that you used.
Awesome. Yeah, that's I think perfect. And we've spent now a few minutes kind of talking about the basics of editing, talked a little bit about templates and how to use those to edit more quickly. But I see some good questions coming in about captions. And, that's obviously one thing that's really, really important when you're creating content is making it accessible, getting those transcripts 100% right. How does Descript make that easy? How can I transcribe? How can I add captions? How could I start from scratch? Maybe I'm using a tool like CapCut or something else.
Yeah.
How does it work in Descript?
Awesome. Yeah, great question. So when you're starting from scratch, I'll just create a blank composition here. And what you'll notice is that you're kind of working from a blank canvas. So what you'll do is you'll drag in your media. And in this case, I have some stuff that's already in here. So just pop it in there. Oops, drag it in. It'll transcribe for you. This transcribed really quick because it was already in here, but for every hour of audio or video that you bring in, it'll transcribe in about 3 to 4 minutes. So it's very fast. And it's using AI transcription. So it's not 100%, but I would say what, Jack, it's usually around 90% accurate.
Yeah, especially a lot of the teams that we work with, they're using good quality audio, unless maybe you've got something from recorded on a laptop mic. But then we've got some cool tools like Studio Sound to help clean that up and make that sound even better. But for the most part, it's about 95% accurate.
Absolutely. And there's some things, mentioning that glossary, you can go in and add specific terms or acronyms that, you don't want the AI to miss. So you can plug in those terms and it'll make the AI smarter. But once you've gone through and let's say there's something that if I need to correct, let's say I want the 271 without any spaces in between, I can go in and correct that. This is important for those accurate transcripts. So that'll fix the transcript without affecting the underlying audio or video. And I'll say correct. And then once I've gone through and essentially kind of fixed my transcript, made all of my edits, I can go up to the text menu here and select captions. And we're going to move those down. And it's as simple as that. Once you've added them, they're burned into your video. The great thing is that, speaking to that first comment that we saw on screen, there's different learning styles. And I'm at the point of where sometimes video is hard to hear. So I want both my video content, but then I also want the transcript to go along so that information is a little bit stickier for me. So when you publish, you can go out, you can get that video and a transcript. So lots of different ways to get your material out. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but it's as simple as that in terms of getting your transcripts and captions incorporated.
So not only can you publish this as a video, you can publish this as a blog post. You could publish just the audio from this and make it, something that you could listen to as a podcast. But I think there's great ways to then just like make these captions really your own, and also update these to, include your own specific company terms.
Yes.
When Harmony was showing the transcription glossary, that's one thing that, can save tons and tons of time. Just being able to clean up one word or phrase over and over again really easily. Also you can bulk correct the transcript as well. And there's some cool ways to do transcript correction really quickly also.
Absolutely. And in the case, got an example here from another customer here, Akamai. So transcription, it didn't quite get the Akamai name correct here. So I could go up into my search and I could look for where it just said Acme's in one place. But if that popped up more than once, I could go in and do a bulk correct text. But in this case, since it's just a single example, I'll highlight it, correct it, and get that transcript updated here. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then Jack,
the Acme Corporation, solely supported by Wile E. Coyote, but sorry, I just couldn't let that joke go by. So thanks. Appreciate it. I'll be here all day. On it, so, no, I think this is there's also cool things that you can do with the captions as well too. So if you have different speakers, you can have different fonts or different colors or different speaker names appear as well for whenever they appear, just to give some more visual interest and maybe help those people in your organization who might be nonverbal, might not have have all the tools they need to hear video. So I think there's some cool things that you can do here as well.
Absolutely. And that's the nice thing too. When you bring in a file into Descript, if it has multiple speakers, we do automatic speaker detection so that, as Jack indicated, it'll show the speaker on the transcript. One thing that you'll find with Descript too is that there's a lot of really fun AI tools that are built in that's going to make you be able to work more quickly and more efficiently as a team when you're going through that editing process. One of my absolute favorite, if we go into the magic menu here, you can remove your filler words. Oh boy. Yeah, we see a lot of them here. And the nice thing is that you can pick and choose which ones you get rid of. So just wanted to point that out. You can also do things like removing filler word gaps where there's like extended pauses. Let's say you're recording a tutorial and you have to run to the kitchen, come back, find anything longer than a few seconds, and that shorten that down to a second. Those are like two of the most essential tools I use when editing down my screen recordings. But Jack, we also have a transcription glossary, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I love this feature called detect transcription errors. So what this will do behind the scenes is run another pass of automatic transcription using a different engine. And it'll point out the words to you that the AI is not sure that it got right the first time. So you run this, it makes it super, super easy to just zoom right into those words that you need to clean up. And just get this transcript looking, totally polished without having to listen to the whole thing for hours and hours and go back and correct each word one by one. And I'll also say, like, we have a mode called correct text mode where you can listen to the whole thing and correct it, as you're listening. So you can either hit that button right there, or there's the file menu as well, where you can open up what we call correct text mode. So lots of ways to clean up this transcript, both for your company name, for your people's names, products, all kinds of specific things that the transcript might not get on the first time.
Exactly. And I've even heard from some teams where they might keep the ums and uhs in the video itself, but they would just remove it from the transcript so that you're not having to focus on that on screen, and you're just getting like the information that you need. So I like hearing like the different approaches of how teams will either incorporate the captions directly into their video or just create that output of that final transcript.
Yeah. Well, Harmony, we got one question about captions. Our editor wants to use CapCut and Descript. Is there a way to get the playful captioning inside of Descript so that she doesn't have to use both tools? So I think maybe we'll go over this, one more time, kind of show all the different options available to you. But I think using Descript for captions is definitely a no-brainer once you've got this transcript cleaned up.
Certainly. Yeah, I think that's one of the things we hear from teams as well, is they realize, like, once they get into Descript, they're like, oh, we might not need to use all 11 of the tools that we have. We can probably break this down to maybe a core, 2 to 3 that are essential for our workflow. So yeah, the captioning piece, I think, makes a huge difference. And to Jack's point, once you've gone through, fixed up your transcript, and then you've got these 100% accurate captions, from there you can export the video with those captions burned in, or even export the subtitles so you can get out the SRT or the VTT file. Did we address that question properly, Jack?
I think so. Yeah. Also, let's show people one more time where those like karaoke options and some of those cool options live, because I know people love to experiment with that. You can make your L&D content look like a TikTok, or you can make your TikToks look, all kinds of different ways. So I know people love to kind of experiment with form and function.
Totally. Yeah. So again, just click on your captions here, and then maybe you want to change the font. Cool. You might want to add a border around the words. Well, I'll leave that off for now. You can change the background color. You can make that little blue. There we go. We can go into the captions selves, so that here we're showing the captions on screen, but then if we wanted to show the active speaker, we can have that pop up, let's say in the left-hand corner, or could show the composition name, or markers. Markers are a great way of breaking your content up into different sections. But if I go into the settings here, I can use that karaoke effect, and then we can change, let's say, the fill color so that it'll highlight that active word. Can change the background again. I'm making some really ugly captions here. There we go.
All captions are beautiful, Harmony.
But then there you go.
Confidence to come out and share their stories, leading campaigns.
So really easy to go in and adjust those specific parameters for those captions. And the main thing is, like, of course, ensuring that they're accessible, right? Go.
Yeah, definitely one thing. Don't make them too hard to read. Some people. One of my best friends is colorblind. He's red-green colorblind. So maybe don't make captions that look like a Christmas card. So
it's a good tip.
Unless your company colors it that way, maybe I don't want to judge here. So we got one more question that I think is really relevant here, because sometimes you want to clean up the transcript. But you don't necessarily want to lose these, as these nonverbal cues can be important. How do you remove filler words in the written transcript, but not in the audio?
Great. Since I've already removed the filler words here, I'm going to bring these back in here. Let's see here. Drop that in. Third time's a charm. There we go. Okay, there we go. So in the case of where I just want to pull out the filler words, I can go into correct mode. And so if I want to just get rid of, let's say, this, there we go. And then let's play that.
For folks to, navigate their career.
Simple as that. For cleanliness, get rid of that extra comma, right? So as simple as that. If you're doing a bunch of changes at once, I do like going into that correct mode. That way you're really just working through it like a standard doc without affecting that audio and video. Otherwise, you can kind of spot fix it, where you just highlight a range correct. Right.
They will, encourage you and make sure that, you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. One other tip too is you can do it in bulk if you search an or an and then hit correct transcript in there. So you can find it there. Just correct it to be a space, and then hit apply to all, and this will clean up the visual transcript, but still allow you to hear those things. So that's a really good question, and I think one that's super important when creating this learning content as well. So
certainly, awesome, great question.
Yeah, one other thing that I saw, it'd be great if custom subtitle styles could be saved for future works. Saving a color code would be great too. This can be totally accomplished today with templates. So
Yes.
Yeah, lots of different ways that you can make this super easy.
Certainly. Yeah. So in your, again, like if I go to my templates, I've got, let's say, my captions here. I can save like the font that I want to use. I can save the coloring here. So once I publish those changes, it will include all of those custom elements that I want to be incorporated into that particular template.
Yeah, so totally possible. You can create templates, share them, either your own templates or with your team. And I think that's a nice bridge. That's what we call a segue in the business to our next topic, Harmony. Uh,
Yeah.
Collaboration. We talk to people, maybe they're using a screen recorder, maybe they're using another heavy duty editor. And it's really hard to collaborate. So how does this work in Descript, and what are some tips that you'd like to tell teams to make the collaboration process faster?
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things I love is that it's so much like Google Docs in that, like, if I, this paragraph, if I'm kind of questioning whether or not we should keep this section, I can highlight that range, use that comment bubble here, and I'm gonna at mention you, Jack. Say like, hey, should we cut? And the nice thing is that Jack is now going to get notified that I've mentioned him in this project. He can pop in, respond just like you would in a Google Doc. And then if I've given him edit permission, he can go in and make edits if he's able to. And then he can also go through and make comments for me. I can respond to those. With your comments over here, a couple things. You can sort them by timestamp, oldest or newest, show things that get archived and resolved. So the commenting feature is really great for the purpose of collaborating. So, and we didn't even speak to like the live collaboration element too. So Jack and I, as you can see, he's in this project, and if I click on him, he's in this composition. So he could literally be editing down, the first minute. I could be working on the last few paragraphs, and it's like all of those changes are going to be synced. I never have to worry about pushing save. All of those changes are getting saved to the cloud.
Yeah, and the comments that I made to respond will show up over on the side as
There you
well.
go.
So, and you can see I also put in a little mint highlight over there. But I think we have made live collaboration so much better, so much easier, and use two brains at once. Go ahead and cut some of those things out, or pull things out from the same source material for different purposes too.
Nice.
Those are some great ways to collaborate in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a great point that Jack's making here, is that, he's made a couple highlights. And so let's say if you have a long webinar that you've recorded or a long course and you really just want to cut it down to the essentials, you can go through and highlight different sections that you want to keep. And then using, again, the magic menu, I'm going to copy all of those highlights, and I can choose which colors I want to grab. But in this case, I'm going to do all. And then I can create that new composition. I'm going to just paste that right on in. Cool. And now it's just brought over those highlights, which is awesome. And so from here, I could take this, repurpose this for our Instagram. I can add in my progress bar. I can add in my captions. It's super easy to pull these in manually too, if you wanted to kind of do this on the fly. And then pull in those captions, move them around, and then publish, and you're ready to go. But yeah, I love that highlighting feature. That's super crucial, I think, for the collaboration element.
And also one thing that we do see often too is review and approval. Maybe you're working with an exec, or maybe you're working with a subject matter expert. Harmony, I'm thinking of either commenting or publish pages. What are some ways that teams like to collaborate and do that review process and make it easier with Descript?
Totally. So there's a couple things here to point out. The first point I want to make is around project access. So if you're working with subject matter experts, you can invite them directly into your projects, and you can give them what we call comment only access. So they'll be able to open up this project, go through, listen back, leave comments, but they won't be able to edit. And by doing that, it's this really sort of lightweight way of facilitating that review and approvals process. Another option is that you can take this and publish this as what we call a web link. And we can, let's say, anyone with this link, you can set some security access points here. If I publish this, you can go into your settings to like show transcript, allow for comments. So all of this is, up to you in terms of how you want to configure this. But now if I open up this publish page, And let me reshare because I'm just sharing my Descript window here. And let's do entire screen. Cool. So now I've got this page that's been published. I can just grab this URL, send it over to Jack. Jack can watch it in his browser. And then if Jack's like, "Oh, you know what? Let's get rid of, this sentence here." I can leave a comment and comment just like you would in a Descript project. You do have to sign in order to leave comments. That's the only thing worth mentioning here. So the subject matter experts would need a login, but they would be considered what we call a basic member, which is a free user. What did I miss, Jack?
One thing that you can do when you add comments and you see this little link bar too is you can link somebody to a specific time. So if you want their feedback just on one certain thing, there's no limit to the amount of published pages you can use too. So if you don't want them coming in and giving you feedback all over everything, you could clip off just a small section and say, I just need your feedback on this. That way you can have not too many cooks in the kitchen, but maybe a sous chef to add some salt and pepper. So okay. We're trying to keep it fun here. So let's I think there's some great ways that people like to use this. Harmony, we got about 20 minutes left, so I think we should save some time for keeping our content up to date using Overdub, things like that. Unless you feel like there's anything we missed here.
No, let's go for it.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about, one of those workflows that we know is painful, which is, let's say, right before you publish, the product name changes or your company brand changes, or somebody is stumbling over a word here or there, and it's your job to edit it. We know this can be painful. And that's part of the reason we have both our screen recorder and especially why we have Overdub.
Absolutely. And so Overdub is our text-to-speech tool. So I say the wrong words all the time, especially when I'm making tutorial content. So if I'm saying, look to the left of the screen, and I really meant to say right, I can just go in, associate my Overdub voice, and then type in the thing that I actually meant to say. So Jack, should I create a quick screen recording so we can demo this live?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's create a fresh composition here.
And you can see in that project we were working in there, they had done that using the screen recorder as well. So Harmony, we'll create one from scratch to show you how to do that also.
Cool. I'll just do, let's see here. Should I just do a normal camera recording, Jack? Or
looks great to me.
Okay, let's do that. So, all right, here, record. All right, and we're off to the races. Hey everyone, my name's Harmony, and today I'm here to talk about our new product, Descript, and we're going to focus on the Overdub feature. All right. So I've just recorded myself. Sorry you had to see two of me. But what you're seeing now is that it's automatically transcribing. I'm going to get a transcript back momentarily. And so if I wanted to go in and change the word Descript or Overdub, I'll be able to highlight that word and associate my Overdub voice with it. While this is finishing off, we also, if you don't want to use custom voices, we also have stock voices. Right, Jack?
Yeah, we have 9 stock voices in the app currently. And I think this, maybe while we're waiting for this to transcribe, Harmony, we got a couple questions to this effect, but can we show how to clone your voice, how to create an Overdub voice from scratch? I think it's a great question and definitely one that we're trying to make easier too. So stay tuned for that. That's what we call a tease in the business. But let's show how to create an Overdub voice.
Totally. So I'm just opening up a second window here. And what you'll want to do is you're going to go to the Voices tab. This is in your Drive view. And then we're going to say Create New Voice. And we'll just call this last name. And so what that's going to do is it's going to open up a blank project, and it's going to give me step-by-step instructions on how to do this. So there's essentially 2 steps. One is to add recordings of your speech. And so you'll need at least 10 minutes of your voice speaking. So you can either record directly in, and we provide a script that you can read from, or you can also pull in pre-existing audio or video of you speaking. I recommend the latter because most likely you're going to sound more natural, kind of in your normal environments where you're not reading directly from a script and might sound a little, who knows, robotic. And then the second piece will be to record a voice ID. Jack, you want to talk about that part of the process?
Yeah, so the voice ID, voice verification statement is one of our ways that, we make sure that we're getting express verbal consent from the people who want to create an overdub voice. So one of our guardrails to protect against potentially abusive behavior, but also to ensure that, if you're creating a clone of your voice, nobody else is going to do anything with it unless you want them to, and you can expressly share it with somebody if you choose to. But creating one of those clones of your voice, you can also delete it at any time you want. So one of those things we do to try and keep us safe and make sure that you're not using Descript for some maybe goofy reasons. Spam, telemarketing, who knows? Everybody hates spam calls, so that's why I bring that up.
Exactly.
But yeah, I saw this other question. I have 43 hours of high quality audio of my voice.
Oh, goodness.
That's great. We do not need all of that. We only need as little as 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I would suggest people 45 to 60 minutes will get you a really good quality voice. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, what I've heard from the Overdub team, Jack, is that if you add more than 60 minutes, you kind of get diminishing returns, right? It's that all you really need is about that 45 to 60.
Yeah, it might make it better with 2 hours, but save yourself the extra hour.
Yeah.
And then when after you created this, you'll hit that blue button up in the top right, submit training data. You'll have a voice in less than 24 hours. Again, we're working to make that even faster. So should be really, really easy. And I think really powerful for then some of these workflows that, we can go back to our screen recording and see how to use it in action.
Exactly. And just to point out that we do have some tips and tricks down here in the bottom right-hand corner for, recording in an optimal setting, and for, the different types of recording conditions, and the amount of training audio that you need to provide. So check those out when you're ready to set up your voice. So now here we are. And let's say I wanted to change my name for today, I could just highlight that word. And before I do that, I need to make sure that I associate my overdub voice with this. So I'm going to click on that speaker label and I'm going to find one of my many overdub voices. There it is. Cool. And now say overdub, and I'm going to go by my middle name, which is Joe. Say overdub. All right. And what it'll do, oh, good, it's going black. But at any rate, it's going to now replace that audio with my voice, and yeah, provide that new name. All right. Should we take a listen, Jack?
Yeah, let's test it out. It shouldn't create the black screen, so So we even get bugs here as employees. So let's take heart with that.
Exactly. There you go. We'll add some captions here. All right. Hey everyone, my name's Joe, and today I'm here to talk about our new. Right. So easy as that. And in that case, I might go in. If you do run into that kind of bug, there are ways to mask it. So let's say you want to pull in some stock media, which we didn't talk about. Go into our media drawer, search for. I'm going to pull up a picture of San Diego, which is where I'm from, so I can bring that in. And now I'll have some B-roll, and I can move that layer down. So I can see my captions. Hey everyone, my name's Joe, and today I'm here to talk about. There you go.
You'd never notice,
Oh yeah.
Seamless. No.
Seamless.
I think if you're listening, especially in audio, or you're going over a presentation or something like that, it'll look all totally seamless. So I think that's a cool way to use Descript, and you can start to work as a team to maybe take some of these things find some words here and there and just make them a little bit, bring them up to date.
Totally. Jack, we're down to the last 10 minutes. Should we talk about publishing?
Yeah. So let's say, I've cut this all up. I've got my captions. I'm ready to go out and share it to my LMS or YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Totally. So there's a couple things that you can do. I'm going to go up to the publish button, and you can either export or publish. So with exporting, you can get out the video file that'll download directly locally to your machine. You could create an audio only version. You can get out GIFs if you'd like. You can also go out into other tools. We play well with other tools such as Premiere, Pro Tools. So if you're doing some final color correction or whatever it might be, you can go out into other programs. You can also get a transcript, which is, I think, super important. So the default format is a docx, but you can also get a plain text doc or an RTF. And here you can set your settings so that maybe it doesn't include ignored text. It includes your speaker labels. And last up, we talked a little bit about subtitles, so you can extract your SRT or VTT files. So to Jack's point, if you're going into your LMS, maybe your LMS only accepts SRTs, so you can get those out of here. But the other really nice thing, we spoke to our published pages. With these, you can embed these actually directly in via an iframe into your LMS. So if your LMS supports iframes, once you publish one of these pages, you'll be able to copy that link, or actually I'll just open up this page and we can take a look. I can take this and there we go, grab that iframe code and then pop that into your LMS. And the really nice thing about this is that when and if this content needs to be updated, I can go back into my Descript project, update it, whether I'm using Overdub or adding extra visuals, republish, and then you don't have to re-upload this to your LMS. It's just going to automatically update when you republish, which is really nice.
Yeah, just that republish button can save you so much time. You don't have to export something out or save it down to Google Drive or whatever. It's just hit that button again, and everybody who's watching it will go through that again.
Exactly. Yep. And then just hit update.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, Harmony, we got a few minutes left. Should we do a little question speed round? What do you think about that?
Let's do rapid fire speed round. Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's start with this one. I'm hoping to do zoom ins and zoom outs using Descript. Is there a simple solution for this? I think the answer is yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So with our most recent update, we've added in animations, and by creating what we call scenes, by just adding a slash, this is a way to create an edit point in your script without having to go down into the timeline. So if I want my visuals to change here, or if I want to add in, let's say, a transition, have that fade in, or I can do a star wipe. So maybe I want this to do like a directional wipe.
For me.
Right.
Next, we will add.
Cool. So you can go in and associate different transitions based on scenes, or you can even add, let's say, want to look at, here we go, add in an animation. So I can set it so that, let's say if I have an element on screen, I can have that spin in or spin out. So yeah, lots of different effects that you can incorporate.
Awesome. Here's one other one that I think is a good question. How do you mute a word or two on a video? So there's a couple ways to do it, but let's say I want to, leave the timing, leave everything right. How do I mute a piece of this video?
Yeah, so like just a couple words.
Yeah,
totally. So what I usually like to do, let's see here. I'm going to use my blade tool. Let's say we don't want the word next, right? So I'm going to create an edit point down here, and then I'm going to select just that particular clip, and then bring the audio down. And then it'll mute that audio, right? Oh, I don't think we're hearing. Let me zoom out. But that's how you would do it. Miraculously, it's working today.
Yeah, just by isolating that little piece to that clip, you can do that, or you can mute just by isolating it to one piece of a clip. So
There you go.
That's one way that I would do it. So
Actually, there we go. I need to go into the clip itself and bring there we go. That's how you would do it. Go into that clip and adjust the volume just on that particular clip.
awesome. One thing that we want to know, or let me see. So we talked about muting. We talked about zoom ins. Let me think. What else? Oh, I did like this question. Is it Descript or Descript? We'll never tell. We'll never tell.
It's funny. I find myself saying it different ways in different settings. I think that the answer is like there's no wrong way.
There's no wrong answer. Yeah. No. What we do have one question for you to the audience as well. So we're going to throw up a poll just here for a second. Hopefully this has been helpful and shown you a lot of ways to use Descript for training and learning content. But we'd love to know from you, what would you like to see more of? How satisfied were you? What do you want to see? How can we help you? How satisfied are you with this event? So we got a poll, I think, going up for that. But yeah, we always love to hear from you guys, kind of about what's going on and what you'd like to see. We want to make these sessions as valuable for you as possible. So if you could help out with that poll, that would be awesome. Let's see. I did also, while you're taking that poll, I want to answer a few more questions too. So I love this question. Would you say people feel a course is less valuable if you have an AI voice? I think that's an interesting question and one that's good for Overdub. Personally, from the people I talk to, I don't think so. It's certainly, good course design is always an important question. But an AI voice or a suite of AI voices can help you make a content, personalize it in different voices, or even make the same content just sound different. I think I don't know. It's not a complaint that I've heard that people say I don't like listening to the AI voices.
Certainly. It also allows you to kind of have a certain level of consistency with your training content. So if you're wanting to hear everything in one specific voice or 5 specific voices, you kind of always have that in your arsenal. But yeah, I agree with you, Jack. I haven't heard any complaints.
Yeah. I think that's a good question. Yeah, and then again, Luis, we're answering all your questions today. So thanks for showing up. And lots of great questions about Overdub. You currently have 4 different instructors teaching different subjects. Can I create a clone of each, or do they have to have a separate account? So you can create an unlimited number of Overdub voices. You just have to have the express verbal consent from those voice owners. So if you can get them to say that they want to do it, you can have as many voices as you want in your voices tab. So like I said, great way to just make things sound different from time to time, or clean some things up in their voice every now and then.
Certainly. And the nice thing too is that once you've created those voices, you can, by going in and managing them, you can share a voice. So, for example, let's say I'm going out on parental leave for a few months, I could share my voice with Jack so that when and if any of my tutorial content needs to get updated, he has the ability to do that. But I do have to expressly share my voice with him. Otherwise, he won't be able to use it.
So again, another thing I think is a good question to ask, because some people, maybe they don't feel super comfortable sharing their voice, and that's also what the stock voices are for as well too. So
exactly.
So yeah. Okay. Anything else that we forgot, Harmony? Realize we're about at the end of time. Seems like, hopefully this was helpful for you. Helpful, we really enjoy hanging out with you guys and answering your questions. So got a lot of cool new features coming soon. So I'll keep quiet on that. But Harmony, anything we missed?
Yeah, so just a little bit of end of session housekeeping. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd love to get your feedback. We have a great help center and support team, so reach out to us directly in the app or go to feedback.descript.com. We would also love for you to join our Discord community. We have a really vibrant community there. Others, and then use that discount code if you want to try out Pro. Give it a go today.
Yeah, let me find that code again. It's LD30. There we go.
LD30. There you go.
Free month for new subscribers. So cool way to just get started. Create templates, create an overdub voice. Really, kind of put it through your paces and think about the ways it might save you time. The first thing we heard from you today was editing is such a time suck. It's so difficult. It's so complicated. I think Descript makes it really easy. It's really a lot of powerful ways to edit there. So try it out. We'd love to hear what you think. Love to hear what we can help you with as well too. And if you want to see anything that we showed today, the recording is going to be available on YouTube. So check us out there.
Cool.
I guess last thing I'd say is send us an email, reach out to us.
Yeah.
I'm jack@descript.com. So send me an email. Would love to chat with you. Would love to learn about your workflows.
And I'm Harmony@descript.com. So reach out. And yeah, we do trainings with teams all the time. So love to hear from you. And thanks again for joining today.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad we could be helpful. And yeah, we'll see you in a little while for our next Descript at Work session. So take it easy and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.